What's up, y'all? So I'm Bella. Welcome to my channel. This is the first time with me doing story time, and today I'm gonna talk about me being celibate. So first, let me start off by saying I started out being celibate but I think I started maybe 3 years ago, three and a half years ago. So I started because I was in this relationship or whatever. Well, if you ask him, we wasn't in a relationship, but we'll use that for another story time, okay? We broke up, whatever, we went our separate ways. So after we did that, I was fed up, like, I'm gonna put them on layaway. And whoever wants to get them out of layaway, they're gonna have to pay interest, late fees, because they should have been here by now. It's like, and him and I had already known each other. Like, we met each other when I first originally moved to Texas. Not first, but he was one of the people that I had met in my early years of living in Texas. So probably like somewhere between the 2-year range of me being in Texas. We had met at a club, and I was, that was my old way. So anyway, so I met him, and my friends, my cousin, she was like, he's really cute. I could see you with him. Isn't it crazy that girls even go that far? But we exchanged numbers. We talk about maybe for like a month or two, because come to find out, he was really young at the time. He was still in college, and I don't mean still in college because, grown folks go back to college, but he was young, like still in college, hasn't finished. Like, he was like 21 at the time. And I had to be like maybe 27, so I was like, cut. But he was really fine, so I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt. So years pass. We're Facebook friends, so I see him on Facebook, things like that. But he posts a selfie one day. When they be like, when you post a selfie and they hit you with that "hey you." I went ahead and hit him with that "hey you" text. What's up? How you been? I forgot, what did I even ask him? I think I just asked him how he was doing, and I was gonna see if he bit the bait, shoot my little shot. So these years, and we still haven't hung out outside of the first time we met each other. And I was like, I know, right? And so we ended up exchanging numbers. And when we exchanged numbers, it was still kind of like, man, like we hit each other up every now and again and try to set something up, but nothing ever happened. Like, it always, plans always fell through. And then one day he hit me up and was like, he was on break. Oh, it was during Christmas break, his winter break. Yeah. So kids are out, he's on break. So he's like, I have this time, I want to take you out. So I was like, cool, what are we going to do? He's like, let's go to Dave & Buster's and we'll just, see what we do from there. Being celibate is hard, right? So, and in my journey with being celibate, I learned how to become even that much closer with God and asking God, should I, shouldn't I, with everything. And before, I really wasn't doing any of that because I just had too many distractions. Started this journey about 3 or 3.5 years ago, but within that 3.5 years, I have had slip-ups. So I didn't want to have any more slip-ups, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure that I was going to go into this with this right mind, and that if I should have even, revisit this situation. But I feel like God, gave me the okay to go on this date. So I go on this date. At this time, I'm probably, months in of being celibate because, like I said, 3 years, 3.5, but I had slipped up not too long before going on this date with him. So that's another reason why I pray. So I get to Dave and Buster's. He comes in, and I haven't seen him in forever outside of Facebook. So when he walked in, he was looking like a snack. Okay, he walks in, and we have a good time. We're chopping it up. We play some games. He doesn't let me win any of the games. I was like, so you're not going to be a gentleman? Because I don't even know how to play all this stuff. So you should just let me win on GP. But that didn't happen. The crazy thing, we're on this day. He's talking about how he actually he felt like his calling was being a minister. So I'm like, what? Really? I'm like blown away. Like, okay, that's what's up. And then he was also talking about how he was celibate as well. Well, he didn't make the choice to be celibate, but he wanted to eventually get there, but he wasn't sexually active at the time. So, we're just having good conversation. So we end up leaving Dave and Buster's. He's like, let's go somewhere else. We go to this club, it was just really awkward because like I am a touchy-feely person, but I'm like, I also know how I am. Like, if you touch me the wrong, or it's the wrong and the right way, you know what I'm saying? Like, some might pop off, and I don't necessarily need that in my life, because I'm keeping the goodies for my husband. So we're just kind of standing there in the club, still talking, but not too close with each other. So then we leave the club, but we're still enjoying each other's company. So we go back to Dave and Buster's because I ended up hopping in his car with him to drive to go to the club. So we go back to Dave and Buster's, still in his car, and we're like in the parking lot just chopping it up, having a good old time. And what he wanted from his woman, and he said he wanted whoever he was with, he wanted somebody to love him for his flaws. And I thought that was dope too, because if you have a flaw, I'm not necessarily just gonna love you for it. You're gonna be flawed, but I'm not gonna necessarily love that flaw. But he wanted somebody to love his flaw to the point where they didn't even think it was a flaw. So that changed the game for me. So at this point, it's like 2 a.m, 3 maybe, and we're just having a great conversation. But somewhere the conversation shifted. It got heated, right? So we ended up we engaged in kissing. Okay, so we're kissing, and so we're kissing, and then all of a sudden it was like, let's go to the back seat. So we moved to the back seat. He has a truck, so we go to the back seat. So we go to the back seat, still kissing, but now a little feel is coming in, little feel, some feelation. Through the grace of God came through, chopped it all up for us, and was like, both was like, more so him than me, was like, you know what? No, because he kept trying to, nudge his hand to go move down there and stuff, and I kept pushing his hand away. So I guess he was probably like, okay, you're really not about to give me any, so let's just stop. I'm sure that's what he was thinking. So, and the next day he has shoot me a text and was like, how do you feel about last night? And the fact that he even had asked me that, I was like, what? I didn't, and I explained to him, how I felt like, well, things definitely got heated. But I was like, I'm not doing no tripping, I'm cool. He's like, okay, do you feel comfortable with hanging out again? He asked me like, well, what are your boundaries? And I was like, boundaries? What are those? Can I get a definition? Boundaries. I have none. And he was like, you should write down your boundaries and give me a copy of them. Don't you think it's important for me to have a copy of your boundaries? while you're going through this journey of being celibate, it's definitely important for you to have boundaries. I thought I did. This is what I thought in my celibacy journey is, I'm a wing it. Go with the flow. Go with the punches, folks. But apparently that didn't work. That's why my 3.5 years was messed up. I shouldn't be having Netflix and chill. The only way I would be able to have Netflix and chill is if the guy was that strong. Like him and I, once we had hung out a couple of other times, if I tried to touch him, he was hitting me with the Heisman, like hitting me with the Heisman. So, and I would be like, dang, you touch me, you know, things, like I said, things might pop off. So we can't touch. I'm sorry, we can't touch. So we can't touch. And I have to we could do the church hugs. We could do, there's options. I think always go on an actual date. Like we shouldn't be, not that you can't have a date in the house, but at this point in the game, we can't have a date in the house. We need to be somewhere else. Because you see, even with Teacher Bae, we were somewhere else and things still could have, popped off if they could have, but thank God they didn't. And then hanging out after a certain time. So I'm not going to be able to do the late night dates because they could just lead up to other things. So more daytime activities. So those will be my 4 boundaries. I may add on here and there, I don't know, but for sure I know no Netflix and chill, no touchy feely. And that touchy feely, I like kissing, so it's hard for me to add the kissing in there, but the kissing's gonna have to be in there. So no touchy feeling and kissing, no after hour dates, and all of our dates have to be in public. So those are my 4 boundaries. And I would also say to anybody that's doing this journey of celibacy is, if you slip up, don't beat yourself up about it. Because I would beat myself up about it. Like, dang, I would really beat myself up about it. So don't beat yourself up about it. Go to God. Ask him, just to go to God and talk to God and just regroup yourself and get back into the game. So right now I'm going on, it's almost a year, just about, yeah. I'll be going into a year. So yeah, I'll be going into a year. So I'm doing good. And I'm excited. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good about it. So we'll see. But I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. Leave comments below as far as what your boundaries are if you're celibate, or what's the biggest obstacle you came across with being celibate. Being celibate. But until we meet again, peace.